they all from last night. Girl, I swear you special, ain't too many like you. If you got some friends on my friends, those hippies too. Do you like to smoke? She say yes, I do. Do you got some paper? She say yes, I do. You know how to roll? She say yes, I do. Well, baby, I've been looking for a girl like you. Can you be my hippie?
As far as I'm concerned, music is music. I don't look at it as rock, R&B, all that kind of stuff. I just look at it as music, you know. But I feel sorry for anybody who only listens to one form of music.
Unsigned, you're listening to the Freeza Block Show. Local, milehighunderground.com. Unsigned, local artists, unsigned artists. Music you may have never heard before. Music you'll want to hear again. All right here on the Freeza Block Show.
Welcome in. It is the Freeza Block Show, milehighunderground.com. So very happy to be here alongside everybody else and enjoying the music. Indeed. A little bit of a different intro. What the hell? I thought, what the heck? We have Chrys from Chrys and the Roughcuts in the studio. And we are so very happy to have you on in here, Ryan. Say hi to everybody out there. And, hey, how you doing, man?
Real good. Hello, world. Hello, interwebs. Hello.
Here we are, the interwebs.
And humans.
No doubt about it. Chrys, been on the scene, in the Denver music scene for quite a while. Tell the folks a little bit about how long you've been in the scene, and then we'll kind of start talking about what kind of music it is that you guys play.
Yeah, I've been on the scene here in Denver probably longer than I care to imagine. But in terms of the Roughcuts, we're 5 years old. So I was playing just as a lead guitar for other artists up until that point in time, and got tired of dealing with lead singer syndrome for all these other artists, you know.
How long was that going on for you? I mean, how long did you, start, playing and all that good stuff, and before, getting out there and playing for other bands and all that good stuff?
Yeah, that's, like a good 10 years. I mean, I moved down to Denver from Missoula, Montana, which is where I'm from, and just jumped in there and moved to LA for a little while, and then came back, and so jamming different kinds of music and for different people, and doing a lot of driving around, and finally I was just like, I'm gonna start my own band.
And here we are, man.
It
is indeed Chrys and Chrys and the Roughcuts, and hey, we started off a little bit different, but hey, again, for the folks who haven't seen you before, don't know who Chrys is, or the Roughcuts for that matter, let everybody in on the deal, man. What kind of music do you play?
Yeah,
or would you kind of describe it as?
Well, I'm gonna drop a term right off the bat, Ameripolitan, and that is it's roots based, but it takes the real stuff and applies a new vibe to it. But I mean, we've also called it modern outlaw country. You could call it country rock, but it's not anything like the stuff that comes out of Nashville. It's very old school based, but we get heavy too. So.
Would you say that there's a Colorado twist to it? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
There we go, man.
Oh yeah.
Indeed. And for the Chrys fans, Chrys and the Roughcut fans who are watching and listening for the very first time, that bell on the Freeza Block Show, it means, you go ahead and break it on out. It means either a hit or a shot. It doesn't have to be weed or alcohol, but just a little something to get you right on through the show. And when we make a good point. So you owe us one, you owe us two. So.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Weed and alcohol preferred together.
It's always preferred. It's preferred. Chrys and the Roughcuts, they have 3 CDs out. Make sure to check them out on the Facebook page. You can get to all their music and all their stuff. Show them some love. Give them a little bit of a thumbing and a liking, and all that good stuff, man. Get to all that great music that they've got out there. Chrys, I've noticed that you have that that kind of genre that's pretty special, I think, to a lot of folks out here. I mean, you're not a, I guess you're not a heavy metal band is what I'm trying to say, and you're not like you're not a hip hop band. What kind of, how did you why do you play the kind of music that you play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I guess just it ultimately started with my mother being kind of a folk artist, but and me growing up listening to my brother's rock albums, mainly AC/DC. But I love country music, but I only love the outlaw country. We're talking Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard.
Yeah, the good
Jennings.
stuff, the truth telling kind of country music, right?
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, the real stuff. It's not the pop country that people call country today. But ours isn't the typical classical. We often get criticized. Well, you're not country. Yeah, but that ain't country over here either. What is country anymore?
It's definitely expanding on out. A lot of artists kind of going into a hick hop type of a situation as well. Where it's just different. It's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know. But hey, you know what? We've let the folks hang on for 6 minutes now. Yeah. So you know what? They want to hear some music. This is Ryan Chrys. This one is called MOC. At MOC, what does that actually mean?
Stands for Modern Outlaw Country.
Yes, indeed. Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts will be talking about their shows. Here is their music right here at MileHighUnderground.com, the Freeza Block Show. Woohoo!
Call it modern outlaw country, like Waylon Jennings, but it ain't quite the same. I love our old heroes, but I think it's time to throw another shovel full of coal onto the flames. Well, Willie sang Whiskey River, and Johnny sang them Folsom Prison Blues. Leonard Skinner played Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama. But Neil Young, he never had no rules. And I still love Hank Williams Jr. and all his rowdy friends that came around. Now Eric Church is pretty cool, and Shooter ain't no fool. But Sturgill, well, he done got the crown. Oh, and I just want to keep this train a-rolling before I run it straight into the ground. There's an ace in this hand that I'm holding. Look out now, I'm about to throw it down. Yeah. I like honky-tonk, cowboy boots and whiskey, rock and roll, trucks and smoking grass. Give me Merle Haggard, Steve Earle, or George Jones. But Luke Bryan, he can kiss my ass. I don't care about what they say in Nashville. I like my solos long and fast and loud, like the ones who came before me and the ones who walk around me. It's this freedom we all have that makes me proud. And I just want to keep this train a-rolling before I run it straight into the ground. There's an ace in this hand that I'm holding. Yeah, look out now, I'm about to throw it down. run it right off of the tracks. So let's throw another shovel full of coal in. Steam the engine up until it cracks. Yeah, I just want to keep this train rolling. Pour it, run it straight into the ground. 'Cause there's an ace in this hand that I'm holding. Yeah, look out now, I'm about to throw it down. 1, 2, 3, I call it modern outlaw country, like Waylon Jennings, but it ain't quite the same.
Ryan Chrys, and the Roughcuts, man, great stuff. That song, wow, modern outlaw country. And hey, I don't have to ask what kind of music that is. And folks out there, I'm sure they loved it already. And hey, man, you want to check them out live? They're going to be out there at Castle Rock, 105 West Brewing Company. Make sure to come on out. It's free to get in. Make sure to tip the bartender and maybe buy these guys a drink, huh?
Yeah,
Third song
night.
in. What do you guys like? Like just lines of shots, like right up in the front there?
Man, back in the day, yeah. But now, only if I got a day off the next day.
Yeah, there you go, man. You don't want to take it too hard, man. But again, man, make sure to check them out. It's going to be a really good show. Go on down there, blow off some steam, have a few beers, and rock out, man.
Yeah,
good stuff. I love the fact that you know, hey, it's you playing that hard guitar, right? You know, the leads and all that good stuff, man. So you know, this is your deal. I mean, you know, Ryan, Chrys, and the Roughcuts. How do you get the other guys to go along with? Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and let him use his name, and we'll just be our own deal.
Well, it was easy because when I started the band, it was Ryan, Chrys, and Friends because I didn't have a band.
Right.
I was just using all the friends that I could find and doing different shows with different people.
Kind of ad hoc every show, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, some people said, "Man, you got to do something," and I'm like, "Well, can't go by Ryan, Chrys, and Friends, you know, forever." Well, so
let's talk about how you kind of formed, and some of the other guys that are the fellows that make up the Roughcuts.
fella and girl.
And girl. See, there we go. See?
Yeah, see?
There we go.
Yeah, shot in the toke. That's what the bell means.
Woo!
I like that bell. I didn't come quite prepared enough to.
Yeah, well, you know, it's only for the folks playing at home, but hey, you know, sometimes we can. Never mind. Let's keep on rolling here. It is good stuff. Again, we are talking with Ryan Chrys of Ryan, Chrys, and the Roughcuts. And again, we were going to talk about the Roughcuts, and let's break them down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Michael Jokum on the drums, badass mother.
Was he one of the first guys you met?
Well, not necessarily, but he's one of the longer standing members now in the band. But his history is amazing. You'd actually really appreciate it. He was in Korn, the metal band Korn, for 6 years.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's give 2 for that, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
2 for that. It is
That's
amazing.
Wow.
And he was in Jackson Browne before that, and he was a session and a touring player in LA for like 40 years.
Wow, this is some serious business, folks. So hey, man, good stuff.
His resume is redonkulous.
Well, how did you, you know, I mean, did he come to you? Did you come to him? I mean, you know, this is.
Yeah, well, he was retired, and basically hanging out, and decided he wanted to play music for fun, and then at the time our drummer Vic had to leave the band, and so Michael found out heard to the grapevine, that we were looking for a drummer, and he gave me a shout, and
there you go, man.
We've been on the road ever since.
That is kick ass. So that's your drummer.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, and then let's move right on. Who's your bassist? And
Yeah, maybe you've heard of her. She's a legend in this town. Maybe one of the most legendary people from this town. Susan Phelan is her name. She's traffic reporter.
there we go.
Yeah.
One time.
Keep that bell dinging for her. She's a traffic reporter for iHeartMedia. She does all the traffic reports on all the stations in Denver on the radio.
Okay.
So
we've all heard her, and that's her name, Susan, on the radio, or
Susan Phelan.
Yeah. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff, man. And of course,
she's an incredible bass player. And she's a wonderful person. She's been in all kinds of different bands too, and so I'm really lucky to be able to play with her.
So did she reach out to you, or did you reach out to her?
I reached out to her.
You did. All right.
Yeah. Playing with her has been just like a dream come true.
Nice. Good stuff, man. It is Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. They have a CD out. They have 3 CDs out, but the latest one is called Shovel Full of Coal. That's where we heard the song Modern Outlaw Country, and a lot of great other songs on there. Make sure to check it out. Try to find them out there on the Facebook, because they are on the interwebs. In the interwebs, they're in there. They're out there.
Yeah.
And, hey,
Chris
find them.
Spelled with a Y, right?
Oh, that's right. Make sure to check. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's out there. It's CHRYS.
Yes.
That's very, very important. And
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't even, make that a deal.
It's that bell, man.
Yeah. Hey, you did bring your guitar, and you said that you might want to play at least 1 or 2 songs. So it sounds like a good time, better than any right now, than to just go ahead and get that thing started on up, man. And how long have you been playing? Did you start off as a kid playing guitar, or did you do drums, or tell us a little bit about how you kind of got involved and wanted to do music.
Funny you should ask. I did start on drums in school band class. And then, but I was strumming along to my mom's playing. She's a guitar player and, as I mentioned, and a piano player, which I don't play. But my first real instrument lesson was drums. So I've just been playing ever since. And like I said, I was a guitar player most of my musical career so far. And then I kind of decided I'd better learn how to sing, so I can have a band.
And what did that take a long time? Or did you just kind of feel it in you? Did you do your lessons, or you know what I'm trying to say? How much emphasis, I guess?
I mean, I've heard people open their mouth and sing in the shower that have never taken lessons and be incredible. And some people are born with the ability to sing right away. And I was not that. Like, I've been singing for about 10 years, and I'm barely able to hold a note right now. Like, it's taken me 10 years to learn how to sing. And I joke about that, but it's true. Like I listen to some of the old recordings, be like, eee.
And it's still an ongoing thing for you too, as well, right?
Oh,
yeah. That's great, man. That's good stuff. I'll go ahead and tell us what song you're going to go ahead and play, and I'll go ahead and let you do it, and we'll get a rock.
I think I might sing a brand spanking new song, if I could. There's no recording of it, and we haven't really. It's just brand new, so it's
all right. This is an exclusive. I would play the exclusive music, but it's a little bit over the top. So I don't know. We'll let it roll. Just go ahead and play it. It's Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Make sure to check them out tomorrow. They're going to be at 105 West Brewing Company out there in Castle Rock. Free to get in. Tip the bartender. Give these guys a couple shots as well. And here we go.
It's a song about touring, which we've been doing a lot these last couple of years. Guitars, bars, and hotels, jamming all night, sipping on that sour mash. And I wake up in the morning feeling like I got whiplash. So I took a little Colorado hash.
Well, from one to the other, we roll from town to town. I mean, that's what we do on the occasion that we ain't broke down. And it feels like we're riders on a highway to hell. Guitars, bars, and hotels. Guitars, bars, hotels. We drink all the free coffee, consider it a sacrifice. And we're sure hoping we don't get no bed bugs or lice. And a holiday sure would be nice. Well, we wipe away the sweat and the beer from the gig last night. Slap the amps on the stage and we order us a cold Coors Light. And I hear somebody asking, hey, what's that smell? Guitars, bars, and hotels. Guitars, bars, hotels. I want to thank everybody who came out to the show. Yeah, we sure do appreciate you spending a little of your hard-earned dough, man. Where we'd be without you, Lord only knows. Maybe someday we'll have a hit so we can ride in a bus. Lord, I don't think that we're asking too much. Well, 'cause it feels like we're riders on a highway to hell. Guitars, bars, and hotels. Guitars, bars, and hotels. Guitars, bars, and hotels.
Awesome. Great stuff. Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Make sure to check them out tomorrow. 105 West Brewing Company out there in Castle Rock. Tip the bartender. Give those guys some shots and come on out, blow off some steam, and have a great time. It's going to be really kick-ass. And if you didn't get enough of that, come on down to Stargazers Theater in Colorado Springs next Saturday, February 24th. They will be there rocking just as well, man. Good stuff, man. Thank you so much for coming in again, man. Ryan Chrys.
Hell yeah.
Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts, man. I like that song, Guitars, Bars, and Hotels, man. Tells great story. And you know what I want to hear? I want to hear the story of the nastiest, sleaziest place you guys had to stop into, where you guys were like, I don't even know if I want to get into that bed.
Oh,
I know there's got to be a couple out there.
Are you sure you want to hear? Man, yeah, there's two of those stories, actually. One of them was this place that's just run down. Oh, it was somewhere in Idaho. It was the runnest down hotel we'd ever seen. And we came and like, we want to check in, it's afternoon, and like, okay, just a minute. And the hotel person wasn't there. So this was like a sound man. It's like, I think one of the staff members is taking a nap in the room or something like that. Like, what?
It's that bad, huh?
Oh, so the guy's like, you're gonna have to wait and I'll have to get him out of there. And we're like, this is a joke, right? And we went to the room, and the bed was all dirty and unmade, and there was crap everywhere, and they'd been living in there, and they're like, here's your room for the night. And this was a hotel, and it was just I mean, like
they had to tell
literally
Trixie,
the
well,
sheets-
Trixie, go ahead and you'll have to stay outside tonight. We got actual guests up in here, and
Exactly.
try to hide some of that personal stuff away. And
pubes on the sheets, stains. Oh,
woo! That's
Yeah.
life on the road, baby. That is life on the road, man. Great stuff. That's a cool story. Hey, speaking of cool, man, that guitar, hold it on up to the camera and tell us a little bit about that artwork there and what it means to you, where you got it from, or if it just kind of came with the guitar. I kind of believe it didn't.
well, this
I don't know.
guitar has a great story. This is a Fender custom shop. Original came from Fender like this from the custom shop. It's a Vince Ray model, and Vince Ray was a famous guy who did these designs, these hot rod classic designs that are just awesome. And I got it in Casper, Wyoming. We were doing a gig up there, and I needed a acoustic that had a built-in pickup and plug-in because mine didn't have wasn't plug-inable.
Right.
And I found this in the pawn shop in Casper there, and it had a defect, so he was selling it for $275. So I've been beating on it ever since.
Hey, that's a great deal. And hey, I mean, did it just call out to you when you went in there, or
Yeah, I mean, Fender Custom Shop didn't release many and I think it says it's unlucky 13. I think maybe some people
they're kind of stay away from it because just in case they get a little bit superstitious. So indeed, hey, you know what? That's always good times, man. That's a beautiful guitar, and it sounds great. And you sounded great just now, man. It's good stuff. We mentioned Michael and Susan, one more member in your band.
Yeah,
let's talk about them.
Well,
him, her.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about half and half right now because we're in the middle of transition.
Okay.
Bradley Weaver, my really good friend and who helped me launch this band, just retired. And so now we're working with a gentleman named Jack Yoder, who is a singer-songwriter in his own right. And we've done a handful of shows with him so far. And he does his own shows around town and plays in other bands. And so right now he's our number 4.
Well, there you go. And then, that's how it goes. Sometimes, life gets in the way. Folks retire. They're just whatever, Yeah. And, it happens a lot with a lot of folks that I have on in here. So, it's just the way it goes, man. But that's why we just have one name.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Make sure to check out their album, Shovel Full of Coal. And, man, you guys, did this thing called a Ameripolitan Award. You mentioned the word earlier, Ameripolitan. I like the word. It kind of really sums up how the kind of music that it is. If you have to genreize it, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's an awards. It's created by Dale Watson, and let's see. The headliners at the showcase were Reverend Horton Heat, Asleep at the Wheel. Unknown Hinson, Whitey Morgan and the 78s, Nikki Lane. I mean, they're all kind of these, not huge artists, but well-respected artists. Jesse Dayton, all these artists that I got to meet. Junior Brown, who's a legend.
Nice. What was that like? I mean, getting to meet a lot of these folks that, you might not have never met at another, at a show or anything,
I was like a kid in a candy store.
And what do you, I know you didn't go, hey, what do you think of my music? But, they'll say something to you. I mean, usually you getting good feedback, a lot of good traction from the artists and other, I guess, people of the brethren of that kind of music, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like I was there as a nominated artist, but what ended up happening is I just converted to my music fan self, and I just because I'm a huge music fan, and so I didn't even say anything. I'm just like, man, I'm such a fan of your album and this song, and what did you play here? And I didn't even say, oh yeah, by the way, here's a CD, check us out.
Yeah, right. You kind of get caught up in that, man. That's for sure. I've noticed you play or there is a little steel guitar in there that really kind of brings it on out. Is it you that plays that steel guitar? Or?
That's all Bradley Weaver.
All right.
And that is a steel guitar.
Shouts out to that. What song would you think really kind of features that quite a bit on this CD, if you'd like?
Gosh.
Because I know a lot of folks that like this kind of music really dig that steel guitar. I'm definitely one of them. That I think it just sounds so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's something to it, you know.
It's
a feeling.
Steel is on every one of those songs, but track number 1 has a signature steel lick that he came up with. It's great.
Nice. That one is called Killer, and we have Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Again, make sure to check them out tomorrow. 105 West Brewing in Castle Rock, Colorado. Man, come on out. It will be a great time. What are you going to be doing? Watching House Hunters International? I don't think so. Come on out. All right, this is Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. This song is called Killer, and make sure to check that steel guitar right here, milehighunderground.com.
Well, I met a man in Texas. We were on the same chain gang. He had killed 7 men, and I had killed 13. We worked our hands bloody as we plotted our escape. 2 weeks later, we were on the move and back out on the take. Well, I'm not the one to share my deeds, so I killed this man I'd met. And then I tattooed one more mark next to the 13 on my neck. And I can't tell you why it is I do the things I do. I guess I was just born cruel. I was in Denver, Colorado, and I stopped into a bar. I saw a man in the corner playing a big old red guitar. I said, "Excuse me, mister, won't you play some Johnny Cash?" He said, "How's about some Florida Georgia line?" And I just laughed. Well, I don't like pop country, so I killed this man I'd met. And then I tattooed one more mark next to the 14 on my neck. And I can't tell you why it is I do the things I do. I guess I was just born cruel. Yeah, I'm a killer, but I got the devil in my soul. There ain't no filler. No, just bodies in a hole. I'm a bad man, so don't cross me in this life, or I'll see you in the next one. But you'll be there tonight, just wait. Well, I just killed a bartender 'cause he wouldn't take my check. And then I tattooed one more mark next to the 15 on my neck. And I can't tell you why it is I do the things I do. I guess I was just born cruel. Well, I'm a killer, but I got the devil in my soul. There ain't no filler. No, just bodies in a hole. I'm a bad man, so don't cross me in this life, or I'll see you in the next one, and I'll kill you twice. Just keep waiting.
Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. We have Ryan Chrys in the studio right here, and make sure to check them out. Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. That's CHRYS. Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts, and make sure to check out their new CD or latest CD, Shovel Full of Coal. They have 2 other CDs out as well. And hey, you know, you like it, so come on out tomorrow to the 105 West Brewing Company out there in Castle Rock, and have a great time.
Yeah, we are working on another CD actually too, just to build the hype. We were on tour this fall through Nashville, and our Memphis date got canceled, so we went into the studio and started work on the next album. And it's coming along.
Where do you guys have a designated studio that you guys usually work at, or do you guys just kind of, you know, where we can, or how does that work for you guys?
Well, funny you should ask, because I'm wearing a shirt where we recorded this album, Shovel Full of Coal, the Keep, it's called Keep, K-E-E-P.
K-E-E-P.
Yep, here in Denver, and headed by Jeff Cannon, who's awesome, and the studio is awesome, and the sound is great. I mean, you're hearing the recordings on that last one too, and he's real great to work for, and I definitely recommend anybody in Denver.
Is he the guy that you know, kind of lends the third, fourth, fifth ear, whatever it is? You know, you know what I'm saying? He's the one that's going to tell you, hey, that doesn't sound as good as it could.
Yes, but non-intrusively, like only if you want his opinion.
I see.
You know, because a lot of bands don't.
Got to pay him. Got to pay him, man. Well, now, do you do all the songwriting, or do you share that, or how does that work?
I do all the songwriting, and but then, you know, I bring the skeleton to the band, and then we flesh it out. You know, make arrangement changes and/or figure parts and stuff. But I rely on my band to give the, you know, make sure everybody's happy with the parts, and make sure it's a good song.
So there's a lot of input from everybody else, just in case, you know, there's something that they don't like or whatever the deal is. But most of the time it's usually really good to go. And you guys, when you get together for rehearsal, practice, whatever you want to call it, it's really pretty good juju, right? The whole time.
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, if everybody likes it and thinks it's worth a shot, then we do it. And if not, then we toss it in the closet and pull out another one.
There you go. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Hey, that's indeed. We have Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts in the studio. Again, make sure to check them out. 105 West Brewing Company out there in Castle Rock, 21 and older. So I'm sure if you bring your little brother, you're going to have to either fake ID him or leave him in the car. And but make sure to tip the guys. Maybe
I can get him to run our merch for the night.
There we go. Yeah, make sure to check those guys out. Don't be afraid to say hi if you do come on out. Give them some love at the merch booth. I'm sure you guys got some T-shirts and stickers and all that good stuff.
I should have brought you one. Yeah.
You know, I can't believe I didn't tell you to bring a sticker. That's on me. You know what? That's on me. Well, but that means that you guys are all going to have to come back in here in the future here in 2018. So speaking of touring or walking around, or not walking around, but driving around, I think that's where I was trying to go. Wow. Tell us a little bit about some of the places you've gone, some really, you know, have you gone overseas, or, you know, tell us a little bit about your touring that you've been.
Man, I want to go overseas really bad, but I think we figured we played in 20 some states last year, but mostly, you know, West and Midwest and West Coast, and farthest east. Our line kind of goes from Chicago to Nashville. We haven't really been east of that line.
Have you guys been doing a lot? Have you guys been getting a lot of traction from some of the other cities? You know, are you fairly well known in some of them? And I'm sure maybe there's some that you might not be, some that you might be more.
Yeah, I mean, like all of the Midwest has been great, but like Texas is another story. Like it's just a tough place, and you know, we've had a real hard time, but there's so many great Texas country and Texas blues and Texas rock, man. It's all such good music, and it's kind of own deal. So it's a different story down there, but throughout the Midwest, you know, Montana to North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Illinois, we do great.
Do you guys find yourselves doing a lot of festivals, or, you know, things like that, where there's sometimes they're like, well, it's a country festival or it's a rock festival, and they don't really know where to put you? Do you run into that quite a bit?
Yeah, it is. It's tough. I mean, that's one of the things about, you know, not fitting neatly into the genre that you are.
Indeed.
But on the other hand, the good part of that is that, you know, on these bills, you so many times get on the bill, and there's 3 bands, and they can be all different kinds of music, but we generally fit well with rock bands and country bands and punk bands, and we can somehow usually fit with all those kinds of bands, which is good.
That's great, man. It is Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Really good stuff, man. You guys, I love the fact that you can mix the two. The rock, you could hear the hard rock, the drive. You turn on that pedal and you get people driving and stuff. And what's the reaction of maybe some folks that maybe have not listened to you? I don't know if you can see them or not. We always have the half circle in front of the stage. But once you get it rocking, man, do you see a lot of folks just like either pushing or just really kind of getting into it a lot?
Yeah, I get I see a lot of people just sizing us up, making their judgments, kind of,
like, what is this, right?
Like everyone does when they see a band they don't know. It's like, yeah, well, this is this is that, and da. And but really, it's towards the end of the night after we've kind of gone up on both sides of the classic country and given our respect to true old school classic country, but also taking it over the edge and putting getting in it, man, getting dirty with it and going to something that is not country. And,
right. Yeah.
It's hard to get a grasp on that from 1 or 2 songs, but
I'll tell you what, though, I think the average guy, once he has 3 or 4 shots of whiskey and just starts listening to the music, is just, hey, man, it kick ass. That's it. That's just the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
There you go,
Hopefully.
Man. Yeah, I think that's what ends up happening. I guarantee.
Definitely whiskey helps.
It does help. That helps a lot of things, man. And I think the folks at home that are playing along, I think they're loving the help as well. Good stuff. Ryan Chrys in the studio. Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Check out their CD, Shovel Full of Coal. And good stuff, man. Do you got one more on in you? I'm sure you got a couple, but we don't want to overdo you, man.
Yeah, no.
This is what he calls his. This is what is it? The practice right before the show, right? This is your version of. I don't know. I've never had the planes go over the studio before.
Yeah.
This is something brand new.
Down the street.
No kidding. All right, Ryan Chrys of the Roughcuts. Go ahead and tell us what the song is, and we'll let you do it.
This is another new one. We've not released it, but I'm just thinking, what the hell? I'll just play you some new songs. So it's called Almost Gone. I've had a few and I'll have one more. Double up that pour all in along. I'm almost gone. Just a few more minutes sitting in this chair. If you can bear, then I'll move on. I'm almost gone. Still almost gone. Headed nowhere. Almost gone. I'm getting there. You loved me and I loved you. You were untrue, love done wrong. I'm almost gone. I had it all till some other guy caught your eye. The sweet memories almost gone. You're almost gone. Headed nowhere. Almost gone. I'm getting there. No goodbye, no so wrong. Pay no mind. I'm almost gone.
fire has turned to dirt, happiness to hurt. One more song, I'm almost gone. My beard grows and my age shows. I think about the life I chose from dusk till dawn. I'm almost gone, still almost gone, headed nowhere, almost gone, I'm getting there. Still no goodbye, no so long. Pay no mind, I'm almost gone. Pay no mind.
That's what I'm talking about. Ryan Chrys with a CHRYS. Ryan Chrys and of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Oh man, I'm telling you what, I've got that short-term memory hitting hard. But good stuff, man. Make sure to check them out on Facebook, and it takes you to their website. Check out their new CD or their latest CD, Shovel Full of Coal, and make sure to check them out tomorrow at 105 West Brewing Company. And if you can't make it out tomorrow, check them out the week afterwards. February 24th, next Saturday at Stargazers Theater. Just take the drive on down to Colorado Springs and have a great time.
Theater. It really is.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that place. So
it's awesome. It's a unique, big, nice, awesome place. Like everyone should go see a show there, no matter
what. Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about your writing style. The songs, are some of them stories, or do you take them from real life, or, how do you kind of, I guess, formulate them in your head?
Yeah. Some are experience based and other ones are just stories I dreamt up of characters. And those are often my favorite. Like the track number 1 of our CD is called Killer. It's just a story about a killer, who is cold-hearted and just kills people for one reason or another. And so I like character-based stories. And the last song I just played here called Almost Gone is just about it's another kind of a mix between a feeling and a character and what he's doing. So those are the kind of songs, I guess, that I like.
That's cool. It's Ryan Chrys, CHRYS, of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. And make sure to check them out again tomorrow, 105 West Brewing Company down there in Castle Rock, and Stargazers on next Saturday. So all really good stuff. So when you guys do a lot of touring, do you guys travel by air, or do you guys do a lot of Scooby van type of, we really got to try to not get on each other's nerves type of deal?
Yeah, we cram all of ourselves and our gear into the van, and it's we show up in town and we're at the venue and old friends come by. Oh man, you're living the dream, and we're like, yeah, come on out to the van and just see what the dream really is.
Yeah, no, sometimes I guess the dream is a nightmare, but you know what? You actually, at the end of the night when you're all done and you've seen folks they're hanging around, and you get that every time. Do you not? Where folks are hanging around and they just want to meet you and they're really happy to have heard you, and that's got to be all the reward it takes.
Yeah,
right there.
It's fun.
Awesome. Good stuff. And make sure to hang around. Check them out tomorrow. Again, if you're down there at 105 West Brewing Company in Castle Rock, hang out, go and say hi to Ryan and the rest of the crew down there. They're going to be at their merch booth selling some stickers, T-shirts, and their CDs as well. So I know that's the big one, man. Did we play that song, Killer? We did play that song, Killer. I wanted to play one more. I'm going to go ahead and let you pick it if we haven't picked it already, and then we'll say our goodbyes, and then we'll let you get the hell on out of here.
Yeah. I'll let you pick it. Track 3 or 4, whichever one you want.
Track 3 or 4. I like Kicking Dirt. Kicking Dirt sounds pretty good.
Let's do it.
You know, a little bit about it first. You know,
Yeah.
Although you know it's always subjective.
Yeah, it's I was listening to a lot of Dwight Yoakam when I wrote it, so but it's just a fun stomp, you know. It's it'll speak for itself, but it's just lost love, man. Typical country thing, but this one's just got a little bit of grit behind it.
Nice, good stuff. Ryan, Chrys, and the Roughcuts. This one's called Kicking Dirt right here. Freeza Block Show.
Well, I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun, wondering what to do. Been stomping and snorting since the day that I lost you. Well, I'm wandering around the pasture, I ain't got no place to go. Thinking about you, baby, only thoughts that I can know. But you are out with someone else, well, I guess you got a new man. So I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun for as long as I can stand. Well, I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun, wondering what to do. Been stomping and snorting since the day that I lost you. Oh, I've been spitting and cursing like I lost all of my charm. Now I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun and storming around this farm. Well, you could have had a husband that loved only you. Instead, you fell for a guitar picker who was only passing through. And you messed up all your chances of having a good life. 'Cause I won't let no two-time hussy ever be my wife. Well, I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun, wondering what to do. Been stomping and snorting since the day that I lost you. Oh, I've been spitting and cursing like I lost all of my charm. Now I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun and storming around this farm. Well, kick it, man. Well, when you used to come around, oh, how that cock would crow. But now I can't help but think of you when I pick up my phone. Well, I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun, wondering what to do. Been stomping and snorting since the day that I lost you. Oh, I've been spitting and cursing like I lost all of my charm. Now I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun and storming around this farm. Yeah, I'm kicking dirt in the hot sun and storming around this farm. Well, kick it, man.
There we go. That's how we do it. That's how we're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it tomorrow. It's Ryan Chrys of Ryan Chrys and the Roughcuts. Ryan CHRYS. Make sure to check it out and do not forget to use that Y. Otherwise, you guys are going to go and there's going to be like 3 Chinese guys in a clown suit. So
And a cup,
yeah, you don't. Good stuff, man. Again, make sure to check them out tomorrow at 105 West Brewing Company and also at Stargazers on the 24th, man. And you guys definitely are going to be, putting together some more music and just kind of keeping things rolling. It can never stop. It can never rest, right?
Right.
What tell us
the wicked.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, I guess, the philosophy and how you kind of roll through, and then we'll play a real quick song, a hard song, and then we'll get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know, drink up and be somebody, I guess.
Just got to stay relevant, right?
Pedal to the metal, whatever you can, do something every day. Even if it's get out of bed and put your socks on. That's a good start.
It is a good start. Sometimes folks don't do it. I myself have spent a Saturday completely in the bed. So only once, but hey, it happens sometimes. It happens. It's all good. I won't be doing that tomorrow. Make sure to check it out again tomorrow. 105 West Brewing Company. Ryan Chrys, Chrys. Check them out on the Facebook. Check them out tomorrow, 105 West Brewing Company. Check them out at Stargazers on February 24th, next Saturday. It's Chrys with the Y, Chrys. Facebook. It'll take you all to wherever you need to go and all that good stuff. We're going to play this song, SOB, son of a what? Son of a bitch? Oh, man, let me tell you what. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Ryan, Chrys. Indeed. We're stoked to have you. Thanks again. We're going to be here next week with the Lollygag, so make sure to come on back.
I love those boys, man.
Mile High
When I
Underground.
was 6 years old, my granddaddy gave me a gun. By the time I was 12, I killed everything under the sun. Steady on the trigger and an aim that's true. I learned real fast that guns don't kill people. No, I do. When I was 12 years old, I broke my arm, my leg, and my jaw. I hit the ditch going 60 on a 250 Yamaha. A bike and my gun were the only things that I ever had. I'm a two-wheeling, hell-dealing son of a bitch of a man. I drive by real loud, with a flash in your eyes, I'm gone. Well, I've been riding the road now for 20-some years, living off things that I killed, cigarettes and beer. I turned out just the way my granddaddy planned. I am a two-wheeling, hell-dealing son of a bitch of a man. And I drive by real loud, and with a flash in your eyes, I'm gone. Well, somewhere in Texas, I fathered a son. He died early, but I gave his kid my gun. And I never saw him again, but I heard secondhand. He was a two-wheeling, hell-dealing son of a bitch of a man. Yeah, and I drive by real loud, and with a flash of your eyes, I'm gone.